Hi, everybody. I wanted to make a quick little podcast today to thank everyone for their likes and their comments yesterday regarding my post about how 6 years ago, on March 29th, Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, saved my life. Now, some of you know the situation, probably a lot of you do not. So I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit today. So, just a little bit of backstory. Um, Growing up, I was always very physically active. I always even taught aerobics in the big 80s. Don't tell anyone because I lie about my age. And on the beach, in the ocean, on the weekends in Florida, always very physically active. But then in the late 90s, I was in a car accident and hurt my back. I ended up having back surgery because of the damage and was unable to exercise for a very long time. And because of that, I got fat. And when I mean fat, I don't mean overweight, I mean obese. So I had heard about gastric banding and thought, well, maybe this is a way that I can lose weight, because the whole gastric bypass thing sounded very strange to me. But this banding thing was adjustable and even reversible. So I ended up having gastric lap band installed in '03. Everything went along just fine until '07, when things began to go horribly wrong. And basically I was in and out of the hospital for the next 3 years until I had my final life-saving surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Anyway, during that time, I decided to write a book because there wasn't a whole lot of information about gastric lap band or the lap band surgery out there. So I thought, well, I'll write a book because my experience has been so wonderful and I want to share my story with others. So I'm going to read to you the introduction of the book that I started writing back in '03. Yeah. And didn't write a whole lot to it after '07 because, quite frankly, I was too sick to do so. So anyway, here's a little bit of the introduction that was written before everything went to hell in a handbasket. And hopefully you'll enjoy what I wrote. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'll be looking at the document. This is my personal story about obesity. My story is kind of like the sea, with low ebb tides, squalls, and high seas. This is my ban voyage. I describe what steps I took to find the tool to help me regain my health and to help me lose weight. How did I find it? How does it work? What is life and eating like when you are living with the band? I tried to make the descriptions in my book as true and realistic as possible, so please be advised that some of the details may be gross and or graphic. I apologize in advance to anyone who is offended or made to feel sick, but this book is to be considered a litmus test, if you will, for surgery. And there is a valid reason for this level of detail. Anyone who is thinking about having this type of weight loss surgery needs to know the minutiae or the tiny little details of what life is like when you have a gastric lap band. After all, God is in the details. So this is not what you would call a celebrity-style version of a weight loss or diet book. This is a story about a woman who lives a busy life with everyday ups and downs. Basically, when I started doing research about this type of weight loss surgery and for myself, there weren't any books or even people to talk to, because it had just been available in the United States. It had been in the UK for many years. So I wanted to, and of course I looked on the internet and there wasn't a whole lot of information there either. So I wanted to write my story so I could help others who were in consideration of the same thing that I was, and what their personal experiences were. So I decided to do something about that, and I want the next person that has heard about the lap band to have something tangible in their hands, on their iPads, or something to refer to. So that is why I wrote this book. So if you are researching the surgery for yourself, you've come to the right place. And now here's a statement that obviously was written before everything went horribly, horribly wrong. It says, most importantly, even though I now know what really happens in the day-to-day life of someone with gastric banding, I still would have the surgery side effects and all. Now here's how my voyage began. Now, that was written 03, 04, 05, when everything was going really swimmingly well. I lost the weight, was in good shape, I no longer had back problems, I didn't have pain, even though I'd had back surgery. But yes, everyone has regrets. And yes, I regret having made the surgery, the decision to have the lap band surgery. But I don't regret what I had to go through because I feel like I came out a better person on the other side. I've always been a person who's been grateful, but my level of gratitude is way more than words can possibly describe. Now, what I do regret the most about having had the surgery and having things go horribly, horribly wrong is what my family and my husband and my friends went through. All the worrying and praying and thinking I was going to die, because you will find out in a series of podcasts that that was a real possibility on more than one occasion. Anyway, my notes. So anyway, that's what I've been working on for a number of years, and I do hope to bring my story to publication. So if you know anybody that's looking for a great story about survival, let me know. Send me a message on Facebook or via my YouTube channel, or private message me. I also have my website, tamaraphipps.com, and I'll be uploading this podcast to it as well. Anyway, again, thank you, because I know that if I had not found Johns Hopkins, this conversation would not be happening. So anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful spring week, and I look forward to giving you another podcast. Thanks.